Hi guys, so welcome to the second part of my healing guide. This is going to be a guide on how to burst heal as a resto druid. So just a bit of a disclaimer, druids are not built for burst damage. We are sustainable healers that have heal over time effects to maximize healing per second, and our talents are built that way. So my kind of thought process for this guide is how to use your sustained healing to maximize the amount of damage you can mitigate. And I think that's a good way to explain this. So going into it, the main spells I'm going to be covering are Cenarium Ward, Adaptive Swarm, Ironbark, Overgrowth, and Incarnation Tree of Life. Now just look at the talents. We also have, I'm going to talk briefly about Invigorate, why I don't play it, Flourish, what this is good to play into, and Tree of Life, why I always have this. So starting off with, let's talk a little bit about our HOTS and what is important to maintain. So last video we spoke about maintaining 3 life blooms all the time on our target, 2 rejuvenations, and then only swift mending when we have our HOTS on to maximize our mastery, which is harmony, which I believe if you actually look here, this is why it's really important to only swift mend an S with all the talents on. Where is it? Druid, I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Where is it? We have something called harmony. I actually don't know where this is. Anyway, we have a spell, like a passive talent called Harmony, which basically increases our heals by 7 or 8% per restoration healing, heal or dot HOTS that we have on the target. So if I, for example, have 1 rejuvenation on and then heal myself, so watch here, that was 39k. So I will now click these off. Let's click the soul forest off, and now I will put all my HOTS on me, including Cenarium Ward. So let's just put all my HOTS on. So life bloom times 3, rejuvenation, and then Cenarium Ward. Let's do this without Adaptive Swarm, so let's see what I heal. So 52k, which is clearly, you know, a substantially bigger heal. And then if I NS into that, NS into regrowth, it's obviously going to be really big. So check out my sustained healing video to know more about the basic rotation and tips and tricks. So really discussing more about how to handle burst damage. So first of all, it's paramount that we always have our HOTS up 90% of the time. Fair enough if they get dispelled, reapply them, but this is by far the most important thing. And I'm going to give some examples in solo shuffle here to help people. So when, for example, if you're taking really big damage by a cleave comp, you want to have life bloom on each target. What I would also do is I would also apply Adaptive Swarm and Cenarium Ward on each target, not on one person. The reason that I do this is because you are going to maximize, so minimize your time spent trying to heal one particular target and keep them both up. Also, if you have life bloom on, so let's say you have life bloom on 2 targets and you need to heal yourself, you can actually go behind the pillar and regrowth yourself to actually heal them without taking damage. So that is another really nice tip to increase your healing. Now, what you want to do with, first of all, Overgrowth and Ironbark. So Ironbark should be used when you have the most HOTS on. You never want to Ironbark and then put HOTS on. You want your HOTS on and then Ironbark, because Ironbark will work more with more hots on. The reason in this is, again, you heal more, so because you're healing more, it will increase the healing more. It increases all healing by 20% and reduces all damage by 20%. So the damage it's going to be reducing is the same, but if you have more hots on and then use it, you're going to be healing more, right? So that makes sense. I would use this into things like, a warrior's spear, or if an assassination rogue uses deathmark, it's trading this and playing it around big cooldowns. The next thing is how to use Overgrowth. So Overgrowth is a tricky one because some people use it as soon as it comes up. I don't think that's a good idea. I think Overgrowth should be saved as a catch-up mechanic for druids in general. So by this I mean, say if you're playing against a holy priest or shaman and they're constantly dispelling you, if you get CC'd and you come out of the CC, I would immediately advise you Overgrowth your DPS or one of your DPSs, purely for the fact that the hots are going to have either expired, you're going to be behind on healing, and when you get behind as a druid, it's really hard to keep up, especially with dampening. So this is why we want that uptime on our teammates. Second of all would be Tree of Incarnation. Now this is a fantastic cooldown. I really like it. I try and actually use this as early as I can in a game. Reason being, the faster we use it, the faster it's going to come off cooldown. And it can just be a really good way to get ahead and force them to use cooldowns. I actually like to use this aggressively, particularly when I'm playing against a melee cleave. I find that the combination of mass entangle and entangling single targets is so good for just making them irritated, for kiting. It's so good. For example, when a DH uses a hunt, an instant root literally stops all his damage. So when a warrior uses spear, you can literally root him in place into cyclone. I often, if you watch my stream, you will see me entangle somebody and then clone them. And it's a really, really nice way to get a really cheap method of CC. So because of this, I really strongly recommend you try and use this as often as you can. It's also great against playing against mages or shamans, because you can't get hex, you can't get sheep. And against a rogue mage, you want to be doing this to force their cooldowns really early on after you force ice block or the rogues use the trinket. It's just super powerful. The next one I'm going to talk about is Cenarium Ward. So Cenarium Ward, you may not think it's a big cooldown, but it actually is, because look how much it heals, 36k. And if you have even more hots on, and then you use this, and then you then swift mend, this alone, so when you do a combination of life blue, and then you get your hots on, yeah, so we get all our hots on, we then swift mend, okay, and then if we scenario mod and then we swift mend again, we're going to continue all of these hots, which is just so good. Really, really good. We're going to continue all of our hots for another 12 seconds. So use Cenarium Ward as kind of your first line defensive, and then obviously you can top it off with Adaptive Swarm. I try and only use Adaptive Swarm after my Cenarium Ward's procced. This just tops them up, and then you can just keep up this rotation between the two. If you can swift mend all your hots, I promise you now, every 15 seconds, because of Verdant and Fusion, you're going to literally be just keeping them up, and unless dampening is really high, that is going to be the main difficulty. So I think that's kind of enough on those cooldowns, how to do them. I've given you examples of when to use mass entangle. I've given you examples of when to how to switch targets, how to manage your hots. Let's talk about our talents finally now. So we've got kind of several talents that are really good. First of all, I would recommend playing Spring Blossoms in RBG, just as a quick to know. I would also recommend you take Power of the Arts Druid. This is really nice, just in an RBG kind of thing, as it just increases your healing output. Invigorate. Now, I'm going to say the reason why I don't like to play this, and it's because I like to, although this increases your duration, your HPS, it expires your HOTS really quick, and I found with using this it can sometimes mess up my cooldowns, and it depends what comps you play this into. I wouldn't recommend playing this into a comp where they can dispel your HOTS, because you will just get destroyed. So I tend to just not use it at all, and just stick with these three. And I like Germination, and unless, you know, someone's more experienced and they can kind of let me know. Also, Stonebark is the go-to talent. You can play this into comps maybe where, you know, there's a go every minute, maybe a DH, some kind of a minute and a half, I suppose it's the same. But generally this is Stonebark tends to be your go-to. And this Regenerated Heartwood is also really nice. So allies protected by Ironbark also receive 75% of the healing from each of your active rejuvenations. So if you've got rejuvenations on yourself and them, and a lot of people don't know this, if you rejuvenate yourself while this is on your target, you will increase healing. So if, for example, you're against a Demonology lock and you're trying to line of sight the pets, if you rejuvenate yourself because you don't want to peek out, you can heal your target too. The last thing I'm going to say, and this is a really nice tip, Flourish can actually be used through a Rogue Smoke Bomb and a Jewel. Basically, if you're hot, so if you Overgrowth your DPS and then instant Flourish, so you Overgrowth while you've got line of sight, and then you Flourish in while they're in the Smoke Bomb or the Jewel, you will effectively heal them more. Because it extends the duration. You don't need to be able to see them. So this is really nice to play into Rogue Mage, even Feral. There's not a lot of people that actually know about this, so try it out, let me know what you think. If this video has helped you guys, please be sure to head over to my Twitch channel, drop me a follow, I really appreciate it. We're also getting really close to 300 subs, so don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and thanks for watching.